10 businesses that I would buy today. I am actively looking at purchasing businesses. We buy businesses all the time. And these are the 10 that I would actively be looking at if an opportunity came up. So number one is an insurance agency. Obviously, I'm not going to go too deep into this, but I own an insurance agency now. I have an expertise in it. We can easily gobble up an insurance agency, implement it in our business. Very easy. Easy acquisition. We do them all the time. Number two, accounting and bookkeeping. I would buy accounting and bookkeeping because there's recurring revenue. It can be scaled past the local level. It can be sold. It's somewhat similar to the insurance agency that I own now, kind of in the same vein as managing a portion of a business, providing professional advice. Really like that. Number three is a wedding venue. I really like wedding venues because the cost of weddings are not going down. It's kind of a real estate play, but it's not as cumbersome as a real estate play because it's only open on the weekends. There's enough money coming in that I can hire somebody to manage it, kind of like an operations manager. Tons of people want to do that type of job. A lot of people that major in it in college. So there's always opportunities to hire somebody in that position. And there's enough cash flow that I can hire, and it's kind of absentee. Number four, speaking of absentee, is an absentee-owned franchise. If I found the right franchise where all I'd have to do is put in capital to start the franchise and I didn't have to show up every day and do what I got to do or whatever the franchise is, maybe it's food, maybe it's a restaurant, whatever, I don't want to mess with it unless it's absentee-owned. So if I can give you capital, you can start the franchise, you can do it, you can build it out, and I get the profits, good, let's do it. Number five, pool service. Now, this has to be a bigger pool service company that already has kind of a manager and employees in place, but I like it because there's recurring revenue. It can't be scaled past the local level, but it can be sold because there's that recurring revenue aspect of it. And if you run the business properly, you continue to get more and more pools. So if you're in the southern area, you can easily buy this business, scale it out because a lot of people have pools. Number six, rentals. And when I say rentals, I'm thinking of dumpster rental, party supply rental, porta potty rental, the bounce house rental. I really like this because you go set it up and you leave. And people will pay a lot of money for a bounce house. They'll pay a lot of money for porta potties, dumpster rental. I like it because it doesn't require a lot of time and it's not a full-time gig. It's something that you can do as a side hustle. I really like that. I would buy an existing business that I could easily kind of hire somebody to manage. Again, I don't want to spend a lot of time because I have a lot of time in my insurance agency. That's my main thing. So I don't have time to really manage it. So this is why I'm buying that's already built up. Number seven, pet services. I love the pet service industry, pet boarding. I can't own a pet veterinarian clinic because I'm not a vet, but doggy daycare, etc. Those doggy daycare, pet daycare, overnight stays, I love it. They make so much money. You can easily find employees because people love working with animals. There's enough cash flow there that you can scale it out and have an operations manager. You can easily start that business with a little bit of a capital inflow to an existing building or a new building. Number 8 here is a tech service, IT outservice, managed service kind of company. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is, hey, a lot of middle market companies don't have enough money for an IT staff. So what they'll do is outsource it. They'll call people. So they're just charging so much money to put up firewalls, to make sure the computers, that the files are backed up, cyber connections. I mean, all these things that if you own a tech company right now, a technology service company, you can make a ton of money. Now, I don't know anything about it, but if I can buy an existing business where I can manage it and then we have the right people in play, make a ton of money in this, and it's also in that professional services vein that I am currently in. Number 9, speaking of professional services, staffing and recruiting. I really like staffing and recruiting because, let's face it, even my company, we're always looking for great people. We're always looking to hire people, but the issue is sometimes we can't find people. So what I have done in the past, I've partnered up with a staffing company where I'm like, hey, can you place somebody at my company for 6 months? I'll pay you a finder's fee. If they're great, I'll keep them. If not, you can place them somewhere else. Recruiting firm says, hey, I'm looking for a top player in this industry. Can you go find them? You already have connections in there. And if they find them, that you have to pay them a percentage of the first year's salary. Great company if you have the right people in play who know how to do that. Now, this is not a business I would just start from scratch because I don't know anything about it. But if there's an already existing business that I can kind of transition into, have a manager, have somebody who can run it with me, really like the staffing and recruiting. Number 10, more of a passive income real estate play is owning a hair salon, but renting it out to stylists. This means I have a hair salon. There's 10 chairs. I rent out each chair for $500. That's way more than the lease or way more than my payment on the real estate. So you're making money. Again, this business does not require a lot of my time. As long as I set it up and it's managed properly, I continue to make money. All these businesses, a lot of them can be sold, a lot of them can be scaled, a lot of them have recurring revenue, which I love, and a lot of them fit my lifestyle. And that's the biggest thing that I look at when I'm buying a business or starting a business. It's got to fit those different things that I have. Just like when you're looking for a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you should have standards, right? The same thing in business. Have standards of what you're willing to accept, what you want, and then you will find those businesses that fit into that because you're not wasting your time with the businesses that don't. And as always, if you want to, you can always reach out to me. I'll be happy to evaluate buying a business or helping you buy a business, whatever you want to look at. We can always get creative. Have a call with me. Be happy to help you out. As always, please like and subscribe.